Hello, everybody. Welcome to Quality Sewing and Vacuums.
We're
virtual
back.
live. We have Sandie and Toni here today, and they are going to bring you through a great presentation. If you are new to So Fun, our virtual presentation, we have 11 in-person stores in the Seattle area and one in Pasco in the Tri-Cities. So if you are in the area and you want fun, food, prizes, and show and tell, and a great sewing community, we'd love to have you come in and be a guest in some of our in-person classes. Today, you can enjoy a special discount on all of the notions and things that Sandie and Toni are going to be talking about. They're going to be up on the website and available until next Thursday, December 5th. It's already December already. Can you believe that?
No, it's not. Thanksgiving is tomorrow.
Oh, no, 2 days from now.
Yeah, 2 days from now.
You're off.
Oh, it's been a busy week. It's been a crazy week.
It's been a busy week. This is the end of their 15 class spree. So please join us by leaving a comment down below. Put your name, where you're from. If you have any questions, we will post that up down below, and Sandie and Toni can get that answered for you. There will be a drawing.
Prizes.
Oh,
we love door prizes.
But first, before we go any further, we need to give a big shout out to Pasco. Hello. They are joining us live today. They also will have 2 prizes that I am going to read out live. It's going to be so exciting. And then all of you that are tuning in online will have 2 additional prizes too. So there'll be 4 prizes given out at the end total. So with that, I was going to mention holiday open houses. Should I do that afterwards or right now?
Let's do it now.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. If you're live around here in the Seattle area at one of our in-person stores, next month we are having all of our holiday open houses. Go online. You can find all of the times and dates. If you can sign up, great. We just need to know how much prizes and food to have in person. They are so fun. It's a party.
All you party animals, it's a party. And what happens at So Fun stays at So Fun.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. So anyways, if you would like to come and bring a donation, a food donation, a monetary donation, the LaPonte family is going to match it dollar for dollar, which is such a great way that Quality Sewing and Vacuum has to give back to the community. It's a great time. We hope you can come and join us in person in one of our holiday open houses. And with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Sandie and Toni. Take it away.
One thing I want to add about when you make your donations, your food donations, it all goes to a central location, but then it goes out to all the different areas where the stores are. It does not stay in Seattle. It goes to local food banks.
Yes, wherever your store is, it usually goes by your store.
Pound per pound on the food also, as well as the dollar for dollar. So your donations go a long way, girls and guys. I have to say guys
viewers.
too.
You do.
Viewers.
I'll say viewers, then I won't get in trouble.
Okay.
We have to close the curtain.
We're closing the curtain just for a sec so we can get ready.
What are you doing?
We're closing the curtain. Give us a minute, a half a minute, a fourth of a minute.
We're almost ready. It'll be worth it.
I'm slow. Okay.
Ready? Now remember how we say fabric is fabric no matter where you get it from? Well, can you guess what we are wearing? I'm wearing a shower curtain. It's a cloth shower curtain, people. Don't overlook fabric. Fabric is fabric. And this looks gorgeous. I saw this pattern, this print, and I said, it's going to be great for our pattern vest.
Yes.
And it looks Victorian to me. So I had lace I put on it and decorated up a little bit.
You know, it's water repellent. So you could make an apron. You could make a sewing apron and all your threads would just fall off. You could make a little smock for a hairdresser. All the hairs would not stick because it's slicky fabric.
But it's flowy. Fabric is fabric. Don't overlook it. And you go to a discount place for under $10 and you can make a nice really vest. Yeah. Also, This is the vest, but look at that pattern. And look at the front. This was a bed quilt. You know, when we did the elemental coat, how many ever months ago, we said, go get a comforter. Go to the store, buy one on sale. This is already quilted. This was the top part of the quilt, but this back just screamed to me this vest. So, yep, and it's very comfy.
This pattern is the Melville. Now, if you're in Pasco, you're going to see numbers on all of our things. We put the numbers on because they correspond to the list that you were given. So that should help you find them on your list. Melville Cardigan Vest. It comes extra, extra small to extra, extra large. It comes in 3 cup sizes, A, B, C, and D. That means there's a dart on the sides, which helps it give you a better fit. Can I have your... So Toni made this cardigan.
Vanna.
Yes, go away, Vanna.
Okay, I'm going away. I'm going away.
Toni made this cardigan out of velour. It's very comfy, very cozy, and she put a frog on the front to close it. So, you know, 3 pattern pieces, the front, the back, the sleeves. Lily made this lovely vest, and she put the sleeves on her vest. Isn't that unique? And it is a see-through fabric, very holiday. Should look wonderful going out for the holidays. And I made the cardigan right over here, and it has the buttons down the front. I'm going to be talking about this in a minute, so I'll put it here. So when you're making a garment, my vest is made out of a wonderful stable sweater type fabric. The pattern you can use either woven or knit, as long as it's a stable knit. So it's got stands. I can do this. There we go. So when you're sewing this, we brought in this special tape. It's called Knit and Stable, and it is a knit tape that is fusible. So it's right there. I fused it to my hem. It gives your hem that extra little body to hold it down on your sweater. And when you sew a neckline, my mother was a professional seamstress, and she would not let me not tell you this. Never serge a neckline. You can serge most all of your garment, but don't do the neckline because it will give you a bump. And if you press that, it's going to stick up and it's going to get shiny and it's going to do all kinds of things you don't want it to do. So instead, you're going to grade your seam allowances, which means 1 seam allowance is long and 1 is cut short. The longer one is always toward your garment. The shorter one is always toward your facing. So that's a good way to remember it, because facings are short, so the seam is short. And that takes out some of that bulk, and it's not near as bulky as that one. But sometimes when you're sewing clothes and you're trying to get that facing, it wants to pop up in the front. It doesn't want to lay nice. So take it one step further, do your trimming, like here, the longer one to your garment, the shorter one to your facing, and then stitch a straight seam, 1/8 of an inch from your original seam. You can see it probably there better. It makes your facing fold over, brings a little bit of your front to the back, so you will never see your seam line in the front or up along the top, and it gives a really nice finished look. Very professional looking. So that was Knit and Stable tape. I put it in the shoulders, I put it in the hem, I put it in the sleeves. The sleeves have a nice little detail at the bottom. You can see that, which I think is really cool. And I put it behind my buttons and buttonholes. Good places all around for it. Then the next pattern that we're going to talk about is the Margie bag. Where's Margie? The Margie zip bag. This is such a wonderful bag. And we brought in these beautiful pleathers from Paradiso Designs, which is a local company. They're very soft, supple, but they are a furniture grade pleather. So that means the corners of your bags should not wear out, because the corners of your furniture don't wear out. It should wear for a really long time. We brought in the black alligator, the crema pebble, the platinum, and the black ostrich. Now the first three come in 18 by 54 rolls. 18 by 54, that's quite a roll. The little one, the black, comes in 8 by 54. There's plenty enough in this to do your strap and the accent on the bag on both sides, and your zipper overlay. So this bag I made out of cork, this Margie bag. When you're sewing with cork, always, always, always put something in your handle. I put grosgrain ribbon. You can't see it, but it's in there, and my handle won't stretch. We brought in the beautiful black hardware. It is hard to find 1-inch black hardware. We have the sliders, the D-rings, the clips, and when I put this D-ring on, since that is also cork, I put a little scrap of the faux leather behind it to give it its strength, because with just cork it could stretch and start ripping, and we certainly don't want that with our bag. So then look at all these beautiful bags the girls made. Toni made one totally in cork, cork handles, cork everything. Then Toni made this one. Let's just do like this. With the crema pebble and some fabric she found at her Quality Sew-In Back. We also brought in the pretty zippers. See, she used the turquoise zipper with the nickel teeth, and she used it everywhere. Very pretty. And she used nickel hardware. We've brought that in too. The nickel D-ring, the nickel clip, and the nickel slider. Don't they sparkle? Yeah, I agree with you, Toni Colby. It is beautiful. Then Lily made one totally of pleather. Crema and the black ostrich. She used the black hardware. She made her handle out of the black ostrich. And the really nice thing about this black ostrich is it's 54 inches long. 54 inches, you can cut a complete handle without having to piece it, which is really, really nice. And then I made this one with the platinum, and I cut a complete handle. And I used hardware that I had at home, but I used that beautiful multicolor zipper. I don't know where to put all this stuff. I have so much stuff. So there is the multicolor. With the zipper pulls we brought in are also iridescent. So isn't that pretty? So this bag has a inside pocket. It attaches to the two sides, but not the bottom. So we have these lights, purse lights that we brought in. I love this purse light. Pasco ladies, it is number 16 on your list. Has that beautiful quilt block on one side. It's magnetic. See, it sticks together. You can put it on a pocket or a slip pocket or somewhere in your bag, and then you squeeze the side, the light comes on. You can see all the way into the bottom of your purse with that light. Or you could have it on your clothes. You could have it to see the door when you want to put the key in. Do it one more time, and it's flashing red. You see that? I'll put it where it's dark, maybe. So, my son used to do sports in high school, and the late bus was always very late. It was very dark. This would have been great to hook on his backpack as he was walking home so that the red would be flashing. A lot of the ladies have been buying them for their grandchildren in high school and college for that very reason. You can see into your backpack with the light, and you can see, somebody can see you when you're walking. One sweet lady told us she got 2 of them. She's going to put one on her little doggy's vest and one on herself and have them red flashing when she takes her dog out at night. I thought those were all just excellent, excellent ideas. Okay, then onward. Get some of this out of the way. You saw my Christmas bag closely. You see, I quilted it. Quilting is not hard. And we brought in a special little pen to help you, the Sew Line Trio. It has a black ceramic lead, a white ceramic lead, an eraser for the black and white ceramic leads. Well, come on, it kept falling off on me and now it doesn't want to come off.
You want me to get it off?
Well, it's not coming off.
Like
anyway, the third one is a tracer, which is like a Hera marker. So when I did my quilting, I took my ruler and I put it and I traced a line. This was my 60 degrees on my fabric. I have fusible fleece behind it. All you need is that one line, and then you have the foot that goes with your sewing machine that's like a hook that comes out. You put that on there, turn it, screw it into the behind your foot, and put your foot on, and you can do the next line. And then move it over, put your hook from your sewing machine, and sew the next line. And you can quilt the whole thing without having to do any chalk, any washable markers, anything that would stay, because you don't want things that you have to clean off afterwards. So it gives you a very nice fine line for tracing and works great on for quilting little things. I don't know if I'd mark a whole quilt with it because it would probably, the air would make it just come back up, but just little bits, it makes it kind of go down and gives you a little divot to sew in. So that is that bag. Where's my list? Okay, first light mechanical. Oh, glow line tape. When you're cutting this 54 inches of vinyl, I mean, that is a lot of vinyl. That is twice as much as you get for some places. Put this glow line tape, which is number 6, on your ruler. And I put 2 layers on my ruler. Then when I'm cutting my vinyl, it butts right up against it, nice and tight, and I can cut, and I can move my ruler, and I can cut, and I can move my ruler, and I can cut, and I can move my ruler, and every time it's going to butt up against that glow line tape so it's nice and straight edged, and you get a nice straight edge. You can also use the tape if you are trimming up a lot of half square triangles. Then you'd mark the size you wanted your half square triangles on a diagonal, and you just have to cut 2 sides of every half square triangle to get it the right size. Lily keeps this tape on a tape dispenser in her sewing room because there's 3 rolls. There's the pink, the orange, and the yellow, and all 3 rolls fit very nicely on one tape dispenser. And it's very inexpensive, but it works great for cutting handles and long skinny pieces. Okay, so another thing, when you're sewing with pleather, it sticks. You know, I have a plexiglass like this in front of my sewing machine because my sewing machine goes down in. Vinyl sticks. Look, I'm not getting it to feed on there. So your stitches will be long and then short and then long and then short as it feeds along. The same thing with clear vinyl. If you're making stadium bags or pouches or something, it's very hard to sew and keep it smoothly flowing. But this tape is called Easy Glide tape. It's a nifty notions. It may be called Teflon tape on the website because it is like a Teflon. So what I did was I took a little piece and put it on the back of my foot and just used an X-Acto knife to cut around it. Then I cut 3 pieces and put them to some plastic, template plastic or kitchen cutting mat plastic, just something. I put 3 pieces and I cut out the cutout for my feed dogs. Then when I'm sewing along, look how that slides. I can push on it really, really hard and it's still going to slide. It's great tape. My husband wants to snitch it. Toni hasn't even told her husband about it because he would definitely snitch it. So lots of fun, lots of uses, but especially ladies, hide it in your sewing machine so that you can use it for your pleather and vinyl stitching. Okay, then I think Pesco ladies, you have a handout that shows how to make a overlay for your bag. That is this. I will quickly tell you how to make that overlay. It is super, super simple. If you're making it out of cork or leather, all you have to do is cut your 1/2 inch hole in your cork. For the overlay, you cut, I marked it with my marker, my sew line black, and I marked the corners rounded for this one. Then I took my ruler and I cut a 1/2 inch and a full inch, but don't cut all the way to the edges. You want to take your scissors and finish it off so that you don't overshoot your destination there and have your overlay kind of cut up. Decide what you want to do for your 4 corners. They can be rounded in, they can be rounded out, just a spool. They can be a 45-degree angle, like that. Then you take where you're going to put your zipper. Now this is a cloth one, so I had to make the window and, you know, do the lining, the pocket. And I did understitch that because if you have fusible fleece or foam, it's going to want to stick out like this when you try and turn it. And you're going to be fighting that all the way to press that back. But if you understitch it, it's going to go back for you. Take your zipper. You take some 1/2 or 1/8 inch pressure sensitive tape. By Annie's makes an 1/8 of an inch one. There's wash away tapes. And you just put it on both sides of your zipper. And with your hands, press it in place. With, you know, just pressure sensitive. So now I have my zipper. I'm not going to sew it yet. I don't have to. The tape is holding it. Then I'm going to take my overlay and I'm going to put the tape on the back of that. And this 1/8 of an inch tape, you don't even sew through because you put it down the middle of your 1/2 inch piece. So then I would peel that off and I'd lay that over the top. Naturally, I'd probably have cut my corners by now. Make sure your pull is out of the way. And take your hands and press that down into place. Then you have all these layers all in place. I should have just taped that down. Like that, like that, like that. Then all you have to do is sew. When you sew it down, you want to increase your stitch length, use a number 90 needle, and sew the inside and the outside. And it will sew like butter, really. It sews down really nicely. You have a professional looking overlay. Your bags look great. Your husband needs to take you out for dinner. That's what I would say. Okay, that's everything about the bags. Now we're going to talk about, I do want to mention this one. I made this in the pleather as well. The black croc and the black. Toni's going to talk about this little stand in a minute, but to get these corners nice, you know how you have to trim a corner? With pleather, it's doubly hard to get that corner out nicely. So take your blow dryer, stick it in there, warm it up, and then turn it. And then you have a little point turner that has a ball point on it. Just push that in there and get your corner out. And you get nice, sharp corners. No worries, no muss, no fuss. Okay? So, you know when you get your sewing machines you take them in for service. You get them back. You get a needle under your foot, and it comes in a little thing with this little, this is invaluable. It tells you all about needles in it, but it also tells you what the needles are. So if I say, when you sew on pleather, you do not want to use a leather needle. It will poke holes. What you want to use is an anti-glue needle, or a needle with a very large hole, like a top stitch needle. Universal needle won't really work because it's more of a duller point. So I go with the anti-glue. Or there's the Microtex needle. I don't think that one's on here. Is a good needle. But you always want about a 90 with your pleathers. Okay, now I'm going to bring forward the pedestal. Voila! Can you hear the music? We have two different threads. A winter set, which is the purple and blues, and a holiday set, which is the reds and greens and golds. They're beautiful threads, just gorgeous. In the winter set, one of them is this 20 weight D-twist. They call it D-twist because it's two threads twisted together. Don't know if you can get that, but there it is, two threads twisted together. So it's 20 weight. 20 weight is a thicker thread than you normally use on your sewing machine or your embroidery machine. So you can you use a larger eye needle, you can thread your machine the same way, but do not use your automatic needle threader, because that automatic needle threader has a tiny little wire that goes out and catches your thread and pulls it back. This thread is twice as thick as your normal thread, and when you're pulling two of it back, because you're pulling 4 times as much, it will break that little wire. It'll get hung up and it'll get broke. Toni knows all about this. Her machine is in the shop right now because she forgot to change and thread by hand. So, word to the wise, right, Toni?
Yes, my 2300 is at the spa.
Yes, it is. It's having a spa day. The next thread in there is this Mirage. It's a beautiful blue, it's 30 weight blues and purples, and I used it when I quilted that little piece of bag. I used a twin needle and I did that quilting with it, so you can see the blues and the purples in there. I lengthened my stitch when I quilt and just went right along. Toni made this beautiful snowman on Craftex. Since it's a 30 weight, you only have to go around it once and you have a beautiful little design. She could put this in a frame or, make a big card, whatever she wanted. Then the third one in the winter set, and I also made this little bag with when you embroider on pleather, you want to hoop tearaway stabilizer and float your pleather. I used a larger eye needle, and it just slow your machine down. You do not want to be stitching fast, and it will just stitch out beautifully. And that was this. You can kind of see it down there. And then the third one in the set is this light lavender. This is called Deco Bob, but it is misnamed. It is 80 weight. Can you see how thin that is? You can use this for quilting. You can use this for making lettering. If you have 1/2 inch lettering, because you want your lettering to show without the O's and the A's and the E's all filling in. So you would use this on the top to make 1/2 inch lettering. Use it in the bobbin whenever you need a strong thread. Most machine embroidery pre-round bobbins are not 80 weight, they're 60 weight. 60 weight and metallic threads don't really go together. You want 80 weight with your metallics. So the metallic in this set, and look at this beautiful green, the greens she did. That was with the D-twist. pretty scene. Very festive. Very lovely. I'll put it right back here for now. Then the next box has the red, the green, and the gold. The red is the metallic. The green is the D-twist. That she did that pretty. And this is Deco Bob again. It's good for bobbins, but it's good for so many other things. You can use it, well, I used it when I did all of the double needling on these. And Toni will talk about these later, but to sew this bias down, I used a double needle, I increased my stitch, and I used Deco Bob. The Ho 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 has the metallic thread with Deco Bob in the bobbin. The Ho Ho Ho's leaves have the 20 weight D-twist. I didn't want to bind all those little mini quilts, so I used the bias, the quick bias, and I used the double needle and just used the Deco Bob. I wound a bobbin and I put the bobbin and the spool of thread on the top of my machine. Take them as one through your machine down till you get to your needles, and then separate it and put one in each needle. It's really easy, really fun. But the special, the metallic thread is its own special little guy. Wonderfil has these thread wraps, thread guards, Wonder Guards. Okay, Wonder Guards, we'll call them that. They wrap around your spools to keep your thread from unraveling. Because look at that, the minute I unwrapped it, that thread went wild. Metallic thread has the memory of an elephant. If I would put this in with my other threads, when I went to use it again, it would all be pooled down by the bottom of the spool. That's why you wrap it with the thread wrap, to keep it from unraveling. And it just wraps around. The other thing about metallic threads, they used to tell you, put it in a cup. Put your coffee cup to the side of your machine. String the thread up to the curtain rod. Then through a straw, through a paper clip, and down to your machine. Because it has such a great memory, you got to get that memory out of it. But you do not have to do that. You're going to use this thread dispenser. The ultimate thread dispenser looks like this. It spins and has a little bar on the back. What you do is you put your thread on it, and I have it sitting on top of my machine. If my machine is in front of me here, I set it up kind of between the bobbin, where I wind the bobbin, and where my thread goes. This needs to be at 10 o'clock in connection to the needle on the machine. So my needle is over here. This is at 10 o'clock. You wind this through the one closest to coming off your spool. Don't wind it through both, only through the one closest that comes off your spool. You sew slow, you use a metallic needle, you use the Deco Bob 80 weight in your bobbin, and it feeds off, and you get none of those little snarlies, no twists, no loops, no nothing. And it works great. That's how I did that little Ho Ho Ho. I did try it with my 60 weight bobbin. My 60 weight bobbin pulled to the top. You have to have an 80 weight bobbin in there. Okay? No questions? I think I'm going to turn it over to Toni and let her talk about splash fabric. Splish splash. I'll be your Vanna.
Cleared off.
Yes, ma'am. She thinks I make
Splash
a mess.
fabric we have had in before, but it is a very handy fabric to have. Splash fabric is a laminated cotton. You can wash it, you can dry it, you can iron it. It's great. We brought in 4 different colors, and on their website there is patterns that you can do. Lily made, where are they?
Splash is a Seattle company, so that's kind of nice. How about we put this here so that they can see these?
because I have the bags now. Lily is a swimmer. She's like, this is my helper. Okay, you told me to scoop.
I'm out of here.
Come here, make my day. Lily is a swimmer. Her bags were always getting wet. So she used a splash fabric, both inside and out, to make a swim bag. And she put a pocket. But that didn't have a lot of stability for her. So what she did is she took the splash fabric and she did foam in to give it support, made a second bag that's sturdy, put some mesh inside. I mean, she got really creative with it. But this way, when she puts anything wet in here, if she needs to wash it, she throws it in the washer and dryer. It isn't going to bleed through the moisture. Sandie, this is a Kimberbell, I think, design.
I brought it in August.
That we did in August. It's got all the little things. Her granddaughter likes this little tiny one because Ritz crackers fit in it. And that's what she eats with peanut butter. So, you know, it's peanut butter's going to get all over. With splash fabric, you can just rinse it off or throw it in the wash. She also made the little bit bigger one. She used the wash away, but it made it real stiff. So what she did with this one, this is all splash fabric inside. Here's her Christmas. She threw it in the washer and dryer with towels. Washed it on hot, dried it on hot. Comes out perfect. This splash fabric would be great for bibs, for lunch bags. Lily made casserole carriers, and she lined them with the splash fabric. You know, when you go and you're taking food to someone's house, your dish is clean when you start out, but when you go to bring stuff home, or you have a pie cozy, it's no longer clean underneath. You need to have that splash fabric so you can just wipe it out. This is another one that she did. It's splash fabric inside. She can wash it or just wipe it out. It's very handy, very versatile. Vanna.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Vanna.
Thank you.
Splash fabric. Multiple uses for it, and it works well. Now what I'd like to talk about, what we used, we brought in the sew organizer. This comes with a pattern. It also comes with the little stand. If you want more of the stands, you can always go to the website and order more. Or you can go to our favorite 5/4 store, and sometimes they have the plastic picture frames. With minor alteration, you can make this and use those if you can't or don't want to get more of the metal frame. They have a very small footprint, so it doesn't take up a lot of space by your machine. You can put scissors, all your tools in it. You can make this into a little pin cushion. Sandie made one out of splash fabric for her granddaughter. This she put a little bar across so that she can put her little clips on it. Now she can put her toothbrush and all that. Or if you've got a child and they have paintbrushes, this could hold all their paintbrushes. You can wipe it out or throw it in the wash. It's easy peasy. Then she showed you the one she made for her husband to hold notes in the computer room. I need to make one of these for my husband. He has the computer screen, the TV, the music. We have remotes everywhere. This would be great for him because he's always asking me, where's my remotes? It's easy to put together. It's fun to do. There's a lot of uses for it. So it's the sew organizer. Oh, also too, with the splash fabric, Lily, with the leftovers, made the little bag. What I thought was neat is she used scraps and made pattern weights. How many of you use soup cans? You know, to hold your pattern down you're trying to trace around. I mean, we've all done it. Come on, admit it.
I've told you, Tony, nobody uses soup cans.
Everybody uses soup
Nobody
cans.
uses soup cans. They get in the way when you're cutting.
No, they don't. You put it, well, these would too, but these are
No,
nice. I got to make me some of these.
No.
And they're all in here. I know some of you use soup cans. Somebody has to.
If you're a soup can user, comment.
Yeah. This is a little bag that I did with the croc and the black ostrich, a little boxy bag. They go together real quick. You don't have to worry about seams because it's
It's fun. It's easy. Crock is crock.
Well, what I would like to talk about are knock-knock door knockers. And we always say just... Oh, somebody else. Yes, yes, you justify me.
Kept
Thank
going. Yay!
Yes. Go, girl.
You lost your
I lost
your
my
thought,
train
didn't you?
I'm happy. You know the door knockers. We always say when you have an embroidery design, you are not limited to just, oh, I can't move it. She says I make people sick when I shake things.
You do.
I don't mean to.
Okay.
Okay. But you don't have to just put them on door knockers. You can put them on towels. These are the same design on towels.
Okay, we want to hold them up a little bit. The camera can't see flat.
I mean, and they're really cute. All you do is skip past part of the design where you're not outlining the door knocker. Oh, and ladies, I have been doing...
And gents?
I have been doing word search puzzles for the last 3 weeks while I'm riding my recumbent bike. First time we did the show, I hung the towels. This said, ho, ho, ho to me.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh. Two little ladies in the front row just cracked up. But to me, everything was... So now when we're doing it, she always double checks to make sure I don't hang the towels backwards. Anyway, that's a side note. Sorry. But the designs are absolutely gorgeous. Now what she has you do... Where's the...
We don't have a wool mat.
We don't have a wool. All right, we're going to pretend this is a wool mat, okay? This is my embroidery hoop. And I have the sticky back in it. Now, if I score and take that whole section out of the sticky back, and I go to lay my pattern down once it's stitched out and I'm starting to build, if I put my template down and then my over fabric to stitch around, now I've got to peel that fabric up to try to get it where the stitching is, and I'm distorting because it really sticks down to that sticky. Well, what she tells you to do is take template, make a 5-inch template, and I'm still looking for my template plastic. I know I have it, but I had to give in and I used potato chip box, so whatever. But I made my 5-inch section and I drew my center line, the 2.5. Now when you have an embroidery hoop, let me put that.
I'm thinking off the box here, but could we do something like that to get it up a little bit?
I probably could. Do you have a box there? There, that's better. So on your, nope, not
Here.
better.
Here. Put it up on the towels. There you go.
No, that won't stay.
Well, I'll take a couple towels away.
Okay. So that's my embroidery hoop, right? What I do is on your embroidery hoop, you have the middle sections that shows you the halfway. It's usually a little raised edge. So what I want to do is I want to put this on my edge in the center of the hoop and line the other one up with this line. Now when I score it, when I mark this, I am only taking out the center section of the sticky back, so that when I put my template down, I'm not having to fight a lot of fabric trying to peel it up. I'm only working with this little bit that I pull up that I can trim to go around. It keeps you from distorting. If I had to pull this all up, I'm now pulling on my fabric and my stabilizer, and it's going to pull loose, it's going to shift. What you do is when you stitch out, probably should do it this way. You stitch out on, I use like a cutaway or a tearaway, you stitch out the original placement line. That gives you a template. I cut it out and I glued it to my potato chip box. Or what works better is template plastic, but like I said, I'm still looking for it. So I cut it out and cut out my circle. Now I have a template that I can trace on my Temtex or my Peltex to make these door knockers. So I just put it down, I trace around. Now when you trace around, you are not actually tracing the exact template because your pen or your marker is running alongside it, not underneath that, but alongside it. So I do my circle. On this, it doesn't make any difference. You can cut directly on the line and it still gets the coverage for the satin stitch. But when you do that in the center here, if you cut right on that line, you're going to get what I call little pokey poos. You know, where you can see a little bit of the stabilizer coming out. Well, what you do with that is when I go to cut this out, I don't cut it out on the line. You can see my line is drawn on this piece. I'm cutting to just this side of it. I'm not cutting right on the line. That makes this center circle just a hair bit bigger so that I get the satin coverage when I do that. So you're going to be more successful with that. I get to talk about my favorite things now. She talked about the thread. I like the thread. It's great, but you got to see what I'm going to show you. These little tiny mats, pressing mats, they're 4x4 inch. They are absolutely great. You're not going to find them everywhere. It's number 11. This little puppy, if you've ever tried to press a sleeve, or a cuff, instead of fighting it, this fits right here. I can press any, I don't know if you can see, I can press any small area. I'm not fighting it. We all have those sausage rolls and the hams you try to get down. It kills you. It is great for collars. It is great for if you're trying to press out shoulders. Purses, pouches, bags, this is ideal because you can get this into the corners and down on the bottom to bring it up to be able to press. And it will also use in a pinch as a mug rug. It works. And if you're stitching at night, and guess how I know, and you don't want to go in the sewing room to try to get a pin cushion, you can also use that as a pin cushion. I had one little lady buy one today because she likes to do needle felting. She's taking a project on a plane, and this was going to be perfect for travel for her small projects. This is great. There's a lot of uses, and it's the 4x4, the 4-inch mini mat. Another thing we brought in, the guide to stabilizers. We brought in the interfacing one before, which was real handy, but this little puppy is worth its weight in gold. I do a lot of embroidery. I tend to work with mesh, and I work a lot with freestanding lace, so I use the washaway. But if I'm going to use another stabilizer that I don't normally work with, I want to refresh my memory so that I can get the best results possible. There are only 4 kinds of stabilizers. You have cutaway, you have tearaway, you have wash away, and you have heat away. Those are the 4 types of stabilizers. Everything else is a subcategory underneath one of those, whether it's heavyweight, lightweight, sticky, fusible, but it's one of those. Well, if I don't normally use a lot of the cutaway, I need to be able to go and refresh my memory. The first part of the book talks about thread and hooping and placement, but it has sections on those 4 types of stabilizer. So I can go to the tearaway here and I can refresh my memory on how to use it. At the very back of the section, they all have tips for using it, so that when I go to do my project, I'm better prepared with what I need to know and to do. It also, in the very back of the book, has one on the specialty, which would be your toppings. Wait a minute, that's heat away. Let me get to the specialty. The specialty ones is like your different toppings that you would put on, or the tricot, fusible tricot, things that you normally aren't using but come up once in a while. This gives you the tips and the hints on it. The best part about this little book is what I call the cheat chart. In the back, this little book has a lot of different types of fabrics listed, so that when I'm going to try to work on one, I can go across and it will give me some guidelines or hints as to what type of stabilizer I might want to use with it. I don't have to use this. It's not a golden rule. You can use whatever stabilizer you want, but if you have one that is designed more for that fabric, you're going to have better results. So, and this will tell you if you're using a tearaway, do you want a heavy weight, a lightweight, a medium weight, or fusible? It gives you suggestions in here. This is small, easy to keep in your sewing room, very handy to have. One of my favorites that I get excited about are the tiny tags. I love these puppies. They are so cute. Not only are they cute, they are very handy to have. We all have our USB sticks that you put on the little tag that you get from the office store. When you write on it, it smudges. If I want to reuse it, I can't reuse it. I have to take it off, I have to throw it away. So I used to use these, but now I use the little tiny tags. Tiny tags are great if you're trying to mark. You go to a retreat, mark sewing items. They're small, so they do not impede when you're trying to use something because they're little. They're little. They don't bother anything. Put them on your rotary cutter. I always say that if we go somewhere and to a retreat and there's 4 rotary cutters out there, they're all yellow. You know the one that's mine? The sharpest. That's the one I'm taking. But I can't if somebody's got their name on theirs. Tiny tags work very well. What I mostly use my tiny tags for, though, are on my USB sticks. We all have that USB stick with a design on it, you know, and if it doesn't have a tag, you don't know what it is. You're in and out on, now you have to go to the computer, put it in so you can see what it is. I don't have to do that if I haven't marked. All you do to change it out, take some little tweezers, you can pull that paper out, put another paper in, and I can reuse this. I don't have to throw it away. I like to do tile scenes, and there's like 32 tiles, 50,000 stitches on each tile. It's not going to all fit on one. If you did find a 10 megabyte one, it would hold them all. Your machine's going to go, you know, when you plug it in, because they're not going to know what to do. So you have to put them on multiples. Well, the chances of losing one are pretty darn good, but if I have them all together, I can keep them on a clip. I can use them off of this clip to be able to plug in, and it's long enough that it isn't having a lot of weight on the port. Another thing I would suggest, and it's not something we brought in, but I know most of the stores carry the OESD pigtails. Those are worth their weight in gold, because now you have a relatively inexpensive pigtail that you can plug into your machine. I have an end piece now that it doesn't make any difference how many times I go in and out of it. If something happens to that port, it's easy. I just replace that pigtail, can toss it. It doesn't cost that much. But the in and out on my machine, the chances of wearing that port out or having something happen increases. And if you have to bring your machine in to have that port replaced or repaired, it's expensive. These pigtails are really worth having. I have one on all my machines, and I have one on my computer too, because I download a lot of designs. And if you're going in and out, in and out, in and out with your port, at some point you're going to do something to it. These tiny tags, though, are absolutely wonderful. Then let's talk about
Quick bias.
Huh?
Quick bias.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the fusible. We have brought in black, we brought in gold, and this is the Crazier Eights pattern. I don't know if you can see. There's 5 pieces. I'm going to show you the templates. This is
Maybe
the
the
gold.
Christmas one would work better.
I think this.
The black one? Or
Yeah. And the one nice thing about this fusible is that once it's fused on, it makes it easy to stitch. If you're using a double needle, which I think everybody should use, makes it easy, because you know, if you fuse this down, when you go to stitch it, you need to stitch down one side. You don't stitch back up the other because you're going to shift it. Stitch down one side, stitch down the other. But your chances of getting those 2 lines absolutely even, it isn't going to happen, and it catches the eye. Most of you have this little foot. It's just the A foot, the basic foot, like if you were doing zigzag, it's got the wide open area for the needle to go back and forth. If you look at the 2 little red lines that are on it, those fit perfectly over that bias. So that you just you just keep the bias between those 2 little red lines with a double needle, and you're done. Don't be afraid of the double needles, they're our friend.
I always lengthen my stitch.
Yeah, well, lengthen the stitch, go slower. You can't go jackrabbit and think you're going to have a straight line. You need to go slower. But this really is handy, and it makes things really pretty.
Why, thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Crazier Eights. There is a template out, which is the original, which is Crazy Eights, but this is Crazier Eights. This has 5 pieces, and we also brought in a companion book to go with it, so it extends the use of your templates. There's 8 quilts in this book that shows you how to use some of the pieces to make them. I made this table runner out of the book using the templates. Lily over here, these are 2 of the templates. Made this quilt. This is in here. This is this one. The little hummingbird. And all it is are 2 pieces of the templates. The nice thing about the book is it will tell you if you're doing a layer cake, which is what this was designed for, because it ends up being an 8-inch block. But a layer cake is perfect for cutting them out. But it will tell you in the book whether or not you want all your fabrics face up, or do you want to, or you need to have them wrong side to wrong side to get that mirror image. This is also handy to use up scraps because the pieces are not that big. I know some people have AccuQuilts. I do. But I'll tell you right now, the 8-inch cube will not have all the pieces that you need for this block. These are specific for this Crazy 8 block. Sandie used 3 of the blocks and she made the table runners. Those turned out really nice. She made the quilt behind me, only this time she didn't put them all together. She used a sashing. Gives a totally different look.
That pattern is in with the templates. How to
Sandie said this pattern was in the templates. That's what she used. I made the little blue quilt. And this is the Crazier Eights. It's just the 5 pieces. But look how fun that is. And if you have that 10-inch layer cake you don't know what to do with, these absolutely are great. Now what it tells you to do when you're cutting for this is it says what you do is you measure up so far, you draw a line, and then you cut it, and now you have your piece for the bottom section, and you have your piece for the top section. But that's an awful lot of measuring and cutting because I didn't do it that way. There's an easier way to do it, ladies.
and gents.
And gentlemen. I get in trouble for that. What I do is I match up these 2 pieces right here, and I put them towards the edge. You don't have to put them exactly on the edge because there is enough fabric that there for the little bit of leeway, because some of the fabric has that pink edge and you don't want to get that into your seam, so you just go almost to it. But I line this up and I just cut across here. I don't have to measure. I know I've got enough fabric to cut those pieces out. Sandie is a lefty, so what she does...
I'm working with the right side of my brain. Toni works with the left side of her brain. Together we make one whole brain. Woo!
That's right. So she puts that there, moves us apart. Now she can cut. And she doesn't have to do all that measuring.
Yep.
The nice thing about these templates, they have the dog ears are cut off. And if you're cutting it out, if you're cutting a piece out, you're already got it there, cut it out, it's very easy to nip off those dog ears. That is going to make a big difference on how fast you sew and the accuracy, which I'm going to show you when you're piecing. So the pre-prep will make a big difference in your accuracy in piecing as well as for speed. So I'm going to show you how that lays together over here at the machine.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got to tell you all a story while Toni's getting ready.
Uh-oh, here we go.
We were in one of the shops, and I was demoing on the machine, and it was the 160th anniversary FOF, which, if some of you have it, you know it has 201 stitches. It comes with a 1/4-inch foot. It's just, and it's lightweight. It's great for retreats. And I was telling everybody all this. And Toni was over here just kind of futzing around. And pretty soon, she comes over and she says, "That's a really cool machine. Is it light?" "Yeah, it's light." We left that shop with Toni having a brand new baby. The 160th anniversary
It was absolutely
machine.
great. Lightweight, going to do what I wanted to.
Yep.
So let me show you how this goes. So I have my 2-piece, I don't know if you can see that, my 2 pieces right here. And because I have the cut off dog ear, it makes it very easy to just match it up. And then this is going to lie directly where it needs to, because this has been cut, that's been cut. It's going to lay right there, and when I sew my 1/4-inch seam, which I'll show you, I don't have to guess where my 1/4-inch is. I'll be able to stitch right down. It'll go right through the end of that point. So let's see if it doesn't jackrabbit on me. I took the foot off. I don't know if I can get it on. Oh, yes, I can. Look at that. Life is good.
Woo, woo.
So I have it lined up. Foot pedal. This is on Jackrabbit.
Hey, you were the one that checked the machine, not me.
Uh-oh, here goes, people. Oh, it's going to be a foot pedal. It helps if it isn't on a shelf. So I've just lined up my edges. So I've got my seam, but now when I press this open, Look how it matches.
You didn't use a 1/4 inch foot. That's why it doesn't quite match down there.
Well,
but
it
look at
almost
this
matches.
beautiful one. Done
It
with a
almost
1/4 inch
matches.
foot. Yep, but you have a divot.
I don't have too big a divot. I did on this one, not a divot, but you can see when you press it open, it's matching up. You don't have, if you have the extra little dog ears, your chances of getting a 1/4 inch accurate goes way off. And the little dog ears have a tendency of going down into your bobbin, and then you've got a rat's nest. So cutting those little dog ears off makes it easy to line things up, match it up, and for stitching. So don't underestimate the power of cutting off dog ears.
The other great thing about this block is that you aren't, well, let me bring this one down.
There's no matching seams.
Yeah,
You don't have to match any seam.
when you're sewing things together, you don't match any seams.
What I did is, this was my layer cake. I cut it, and I put in little containers so that I've got it, so it's easy to piece. I can take it with me. And it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous way to use up those layer cakes. They look very sweet. So,
Okay, Andrea, do we have some winners?
I think so. Are you ready for me to come in?
Just one
Yes.
person. We have some winners?
We have some winners. 4 winners today.
Yay!
We have our virtual Pasco winners and then our virtual online winners. Okay, which one should I do first?
Pasco.
Pasco, okay.
Pasco, you know you have to whoop and holler.
Yes.
Reva keeps it.
Really loud, okay? Are you ready? The first number is 5, 4, 7, 9, 2,
Yes!
1. Yay!
oh,
Oh, okay. One more time. 5, 4, 7, 9, 2, 1. Yay! Okay, the second winner. 5, 4, 7,
Woo-hoo!
9,
Yes.
3, 5. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 7, 9, 3, 5. Woo! Woo! Okay, so these are our virtual winners. This is from YouTube, Tanya Koski. You have won a magnetic pincushion. I think I have like 2 or 3 around my house of these magnetic pincushions. You can use them everywhere. It's amazing. So if you will go online to Andrea at qualitysewing.com, shoot me an email if you are near in the Seattle area, what store you are at, or send me your address and I will mail this up to you. Okay, so that is Tanya Koski. Our second and last winner, this is from Facebook. This is for this beautiful Christmas cheer quilt pattern. It's really fun, really pretty. This is for Gail Hamilton. So Gail, if you will, if you'll shoot me an email at Andrea@qualitysewing.com, either with your local store or your address, I will get those prizes over to you too. Well,
thank you for spending your afternoon with us. We love doing this. We love showing great product. And welcome Pasco to the La Ponte family, Quality and Sewing.
yes.
And come see us again.
Thank you.